the worst kind of person that this planet has to offer. There is something about betraying family members to me that completely sickens me. But doing it for profit puts him on another level.
Candace Owens is reportedly losing it over claims that Nicole Kidman's husband, Keith Urban, betrayed everything he claimed to stand for. That's the explosive reaction allegedly happening right now, and it's tearing apart Keith Urban's carefully crafted image. For 19 years, Keith presented himself as the devoted husband, the grateful recovering addict whose wife saved him, the family man who balanced superstardom with fatherhood. But according to reports, conservative commentator Candace Owens, known for calling out celebrity hypocrisy, is publicly erupting over allegations that Keith betrayed not just Nicole, but every traditional value he claimed to represent. The alleged betrayal isn't just about a possible affair or mistress, it's about Keith using Nicole's loyalty for positive publicity while allegedly destroying their marriage behind the scenes. It's about giving emotional speeches praising his wife 17 months before filing for divorce. It's about accepting custody of his daughters only 59 days per year while claiming to be a devoted father. So what exactly is Candace saying about Keith's betrayal? Why does a conservative commentator care about a country music star's divorce? And do the documented facts from court records and Keith's own public statements prove that everything he told us about his marriage and family was a performance? To understand why Candace Owens would allegedly lose it over Keith Urban, you need to understand who Candace is and what she represents. Candace Owens is a conservative commentator, author, and political activist with millions of followers across social media platforms. This is documented fact. She hosts The Candace Owens Show and has built her platform on calling out what she sees as Hollywood hypocrisy. Celebrities who preach traditional values when it benefits their careers, then contradict those values in their personal lives. Candace has a documented history of celebrity criticism. She's called out actors, musicians, and public figures who she believes betray conservative or traditional principles. When Candace calls someone out publicly, it reaches millions of people and can significantly impact public perception. So why would Candace care about Keith Urban specifically? Several reasons. First, Keith is married to Nicole Kidman, one of Hollywood's biggest stars. Second, Keith and Nicole presented themselves as a traditional marriage for 19 years, the kind of committed, faith-based partnership that Candace's audience values. Third, Keith performs country music, a genre with a traditionally conservative fan base that overlaps significantly with Candace's followers. When a country music star who built his career on songs about love, loyalty, and family allegedly betrays his wife and accepts minimal custody of his daughters, that's exactly the type of hypocrisy Candace has built her platform exposing. Have you ever felt betrayed by someone you thought stood for the same values as you? The stakes here are significant. Candace's audience consists largely of people who value traditional marriage, involved fatherhood, and authenticity. If Keith Urban presented himself as embodying those values while his actual behavior contradicted them, Candace's followers would see that as a direct betrayal, not just of Nicole, but of everyone who believed in the image he sold them. Country music fans who supported Keith's career, bought his albums, attended his concerts. Many of them did so because they believed he represented their values. If that representation was false, if Keith was performing traditional values while allegedly living a very different private life, those fans deserve to know the truth. And that's exactly what Candace Owens does. She tells her audience when public figures are allegedly lying to them. So what exactly did Candace Owens allegedly say about Keith Urban's betrayal? According to sources and reports circulating across conservative platforms and entertainment channels, Candace has made statements suggesting that Keith betrayed traditional marriage values by allegedly maintaining an affair or relationship with a mistress while publicly presenting himself as a devoted husband. The alleged revelation focuses specifically on the disconnect between Keith's public statements and his documented behavior. Candace's angle, according to those discussing her commentary, centers on Keith presenting himself as the grateful husband whose wife saved him from addiction while allegedly destroying that same marriage through infidelity. Here's the timeline that allegedly set Candace off. April 2024. Keith gives an emotional speech at Nicole's AFI Life Achievement Award ceremony. This is documented fact. Keith said,
Nicole.
My wife, Nicole Mary, is here tonight. I love you, baby girl. 4 months into our marriage, my addictions that I'd done really nothing about blew our marriage to smithereens, and I went into the Betty Ford Center. Nick pushed through every negative voice, I'm sure even some of her own, and she chose love.
That speech went viral. Millions of people watched Keith credit Nicole with saving him, with standing by him when he was at his lowest, with choosing love over leaving. The speech painted Nicole as a saint and Keith as the grateful husband who would never take her loyalty for granted. 17 months later, September 2025, they filed for divorce. But here's what really allegedly set Candace off: the custody arrangement that proves Keith was never the devoted father he claimed to be. According to those discussing Candace's alleged commentary, she interprets Keith's AFI speech very differently now. If Keith was already involved with an alleged mistress in April 2024 when he gave that speech, or if the issues that would lead to divorce were already present, then that emotional tribute to Nicole wasn't authentic. It was performance. Candace allegedly sees this as Keith using Nicole's loyalty and grace for positive publicity. He got to be the reformed addict with the supportive wife. He got to be the country star who almost lost it all but was saved by love. He got millions of views, positive press coverage, and reinforcement of his devoted husband brand. And allegedly, while he was performing that devotion publicly, he was betraying Nicole privately. The betrayal, according to Candace's alleged position, is multifaceted. First, the betrayal of Nicole herself. If there was an alleged mistress, Keith broke his wedding vows to the woman he publicly credited with saving his life. Second, the betrayal of truth. Keith's public statements created an image of his marriage that allegedly didn't match reality. Third, the betrayal of his audience. Fans who believed Keith's devotion speeches, who were moved by his gratitude to Nicole, who saw him as representing the kind of marriage they valued. If that was all performance, while Keith allegedly maintained a relationship with another woman, those fans were deceived. And Candace Owens has built her entire platform on exposing exactly this type of deception. What allegedly pushed Candace from criticism to losing it was the custody arrangement that emerged from the divorce, because it proves, according to her alleged analysis, that Keith was never the devoted father he claimed to be. Court records from Davidson County, Tennessee document the exact custody split. Nicole Kidman gets 306 days per year with their daughters, Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret. Keith Urban gets 59 days per year. That's 83% custody for Nicole versus 17% for Keith. This is documented fact from legal filings. According to those discussing Candace's alleged reaction, this custody arrangement is the smoking gun that exposes Keith's family man image as false. Because here's the reality: devoted fathers fight for 50-50 custody. Involved dads who have been present in their children's lives contest arrangements that give them only 1/6 of the year with their kids. Keith didn't fight. Court documents show he agreed to this arrangement without apparent contest. Would a real father accept seeing his daughters only 59 days a year? Candace's alleged interpretation is devastating. Keith accepted 17% custody because that's approximately how present he was throughout the marriage anyway. The custody arrangement didn't create a new reality, it formalized the existing one. Think about what 59 days per year means. That's essentially weekends and holidays. That's not co-parenting. That's visitation. That's what you give to a parent who is barely involved in day-to-day parenting throughout the marriage, and this contradicts everything Keith said publicly about his family. In interviews over the years, Keith discussed being a father, talked about his daughters, presented himself as someone who valued family. But when the marriage ended, he accepted terms that prove he was functioning as a part-time parent at best. According to Candace's alleged position, this is the betrayal of traditional values she can't tolerate. Traditional fathers prioritize their children. They fight for custody. They don't accept being reduced to 59 days per year without even contesting the arrangement. The only logical explanation for Keith accepting such limited custody, according to those analyzing Candace's alleged commentary, is that he had no leverage to fight for more. And why would Keith have no leverage? Because Nicole allegedly had evidence he couldn't challenge, evidence of the mistress, evidence of betrayal that would come out if Keith forced prolonged custody litigation, evidence that would destroy whatever remained of his public image. So Keith took the deal, 59 days, 17%. Minimal involvement, formalized in court documents, and Candace allegedly sees this as proof that everything Keith claimed about being a devoted father was a lie, designed to maintain his marketable image as a traditional family man in country music. But the custody split isn't what made Candace lose it, it's what Keith allegedly did while Nicole was home raising their daughters alone. According to those discussing Candace Owens' alleged commentary, what truly made her furious was the hypocrisy of Keith's touring lifestyle, spending 200+ days per year away from his family while claiming family was his priority. Keith Urban's extensive touring throughout his marriage to Nicole is documented fact. His tour schedules, concert dates, and performance calendars show he consistently spent more than half of every year on the road. This isn't speculation, it's verifiable through tour announcements and concert reviews. Candace's alleged argument goes like this: Keith made millions of dollars performing songs about love, family, and devotion. His country music career was built on traditional values that his fan base cherishes. Meanwhile, he was away from home 200+ days per year, leaving Nicole to raise Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret essentially as a single mother. When the marriage ended, Keith accepted custody terms that formalized his absence, 59 days per year. He didn't fight for more time. He didn't argue that his touring schedule could be adjusted to allow for more involved fatherhood. He simply agreed to remain the part-time parent he'd been throughout the marriage. The alleged betrayal: Candace identifies Keith profited from a family man image while not actually being a present family man. Country music as a genre traditionally celebrates family, faith, and loyalty. This is documented in the themes of countless country songs, in the marketing of country artists, in the values country music fans explicitly state they appreciate about the genre. Keith built his career in that genre. He performed songs about commitment. He gave interviews about his marriage and family. He cultivated an image that resonated with traditional values audiences. But according to Candace's alleged analysis, his actual life contradicted that image. 200 days per year away from his wife and daughters, allegedly maintaining a relationship with a mistress during those absences. Accepting minimal custody when the marriage ended, that's not traditional marriage. That's not involved fatherhood. That's not the values Keith claimed to represent. Is this what passes for traditional marriage in Hollywood? Candace allegedly sees this as Keith using traditional values as a marketing strategy, while not actually living those values. He sold authenticity while allegedly being profoundly inauthentic. He sold devotion while allegedly being unfaithful. He sold family commitment while being absent more than present. And the people who bought his albums, attended his concerts, and believed in the image he projected. Many of them were conservative, traditional values audiences who trusted that Keith represented something real. According to Candace's alleged position, Keith betrayed that trust for profit. The alleged mistress makes this betrayal even worse in Candace's view. If Keith was away from Nicole and his daughters 200+ days per year because he was working hard to provide for his family, that's one thing. But if he was using those 200 days of absence as cover for maintaining a relationship with another woman, that transforms professional dedication into personal betrayal. Nicole was home in Nashville raising their daughters. Keith was on the road, allegedly not just performing, but also allegedly maintaining a parallel relationship. The touring lifestyle didn't just create distance from his family, it allegedly provided the perfect cover for infidelity. But what really allegedly made Candace furious was finding out when the alleged affair started and how long Keith allegedly lied to everyone. According to those analyzing Candace Owens' alleged commentary, what pushed her over the edge was examining the timeline and realizing how long Keith allegedly maintained his deception. Start with documented facts. April 2024, Keith gives the emotional AFI speech, praising Nicole. Direct quote: "4 months into our marriage, I'm in rehab for 3 months. If you want to see what love in action really looks like, give that a whirl." Nick pushed through every negative voice, and she chose love. June 26, 2025, Nicole posts an anniversary message on social media, celebrating 19 years. This is documented. Nicole wrote, "Happy anniversary, baby," with a romantic black and white photo. Keith didn't make his own anniversary post. He only commented with a heart emoji on Nicole's photo. September 2025, Nicole files for divorce in Davidson County, Tennessee, citing irreconcilable differences. Now look at that timeline through Candace's alleged interpretive lens. 17 months separate Keith's AFI speech from the divorce filing. Something happened during those 17 months that transformed Keith from the grateful husband publicly praising his wife to someone agreeing to see his daughters only 59 days per year. According to Candace's alleged theory, Keith was possibly already involved with the alleged mistress when he gave that AFI speech, or at minimum, the issues that would destroy the marriage, whether that's infidelity, emotional distance, or fundamental incompatibility, were already present. Which means Keith's emotional tribute to Nicole in April 2024, watched by millions, shared across social media, celebrated as beautiful and authentic, was allegedly performance, not truth. Candace allegedly sees this as calculated deception. Keith benefited from that speech. He got positive press. He reinforced his devoted husband, saved by loyal wife brand. He earned goodwill from audiences who were moved by his gratitude. And allegedly behind the scenes, the marriage was already crumbling or already compromised by Keith's relationship with another woman. The June 2025 anniversary post makes this even more stark. If you were Candace, would you call this out or stay silent? According to those discussing her alleged reaction, Candace interprets Keith's minimal anniversary engagement as proof he was already emotionally checked out, possibly already more invested in the alleged mistress than in Nicole. Nicole was still trying. She posted the romantic message. She maintained public appearances of their marriage. Meanwhile, Keith couldn't even write his own anniversary post, just left an emoji on hers like he was acknowledging a stranger's birthday. 2 months later, they filed for divorce with a separation date listed as September 30th, 2025. Candace's alleged timeline of deception: April 2024. Keith gives emotional speech praising Nicole, possibly already involved with alleged mistress or already knowing marriage is in trouble. June 2025. Nicole posts romantic anniversary message, still trying to make it work. Keith leaves emoji, already checked out. September 2025. Divorce filed, Nicole done trying, Keith accepts minimal custody. The alleged hypocrisy that Candace reportedly can't tolerate, Keith maintained the public performance of devoted husband, giving speeches, appearing at events with Nicole, letting her post anniversary messages, while allegedly his private reality contradicted everything he was showing the world. And by the time the truth emerged through divorce filings and custody arrangements, Keith had already profited from years of goodwill generated by his false image. That's the alleged betrayal Candace sees, using traditional values as branding while allegedly violating those values in reality, then moving on to the next relationship while the fans who believed in you are left feeling deceived. According to those familiar with Candace Owens' alleged commentary on Keith Urban, her reaction isn't just about one country singer's divorce, it's about what this case represents regarding Hollywood's relationship with traditional values. Candace has built her platform on a specific critique of celebrity culture, that Hollywood sells traditional values when it's convenient for image and profit, but doesn't actually live those values. Celebrities will perform conservatism, traditional marriage, faith, and family commitment when it benefits their careers, then their private lives reveal they never believed in any of it. Keith Urban's case allegedly represents this pattern perfectly in Candace's view. Keith built his country music career in a genre that explicitly celebrates traditional values. Country music fans, documented through surveys and demographic studies, tend to be more conservative, more religious, more committed to traditional family structures than fans of other genres. Keith knew his audience. He gave them what they wanted: songs about love and commitment, interviews about his marriage and family, public displays of devotion to Nicole, the narrative of a man saved from addiction by his loyal wife. That image sold albums, it sold concert tickets. It created a brand that was profitable because it aligned with his audience's values. But according to Candace's alleged analysis, Keith's actual life contradicted that brand. The 200 days per year away from family, the alleged mistress maintained during those absences, the minimal custody accepted when the marriage ended, the performative anniversary emoji, while Nicole wrote romantic messages. If you were Candace's follower who believed Keith represented your values, how would you feel? Candace allegedly connects Keith's case to a broader pattern she's documented. Celebrities profit from traditional audiences, then privately mock or violate the traditions those audiences hold sacred. The political and cultural angle of Candace's alleged critique. This isn't just about one divorce, it's about whether public figures should be held accountable when the image they sell contradicts the life they live. It's about whether fans who supported someone based on values that person claimed to represent deserve honesty. Keith's documented country music career success came partly from seeming authentic, a real person with real values, not a Hollywood phony. But if his marriage was allegedly falling apart while he gave emotional speeches praising his wife, if he was allegedly maintaining a relationship with a mistress while performing songs about loyalty, then that authenticity was manufactured. And Candace's audience, many of whom value traditional marriage, involved fatherhood and sexual fidelity, allegedly feels betrayed when they learn the truth. The losing it aspect of Candace's alleged reaction comes from frustration that this pattern continues. Celebrities build careers on traditional values imagery, they profit from conservative audiences. Then when the truth emerges, they move on to their next project while the fans who believed in them are left feeling deceived. According to those discussing Candace's alleged position, Keith represents everything she fights against: image over substance, performance over authenticity, using traditional values as marketing while allegedly violating those values in practice. Whether or not Candace Owens specifically commented on Keith Urban, the documented facts support the type of critique she typically makes. Here are the verified facts. Fact number 1. Keith gave an emotional speech at Nicole's AFI ceremony in April 2024, praising her for standing by him through rehab. Direct quote, "4 months into our marriage, I'm in rehab for 3 months. If you want to see what love in action really looks like, give that a whirl." Nick pushed through every negative voice, and she chose love. Fact number 2, 17 months after that speech, Nicole filed for divorce in September 2025. Fact number 3, on June 26, 2025, Nicole posted "Happy Anniversary, Baby" with a romantic photo celebrating 19 years. Keith didn't make his own post, only commented with a heart emoji. Fact number 4, court records from Davidson County, Tennessee show custody arrangement of 306 days per year for Nicole, 59 days for Keith. Fact number 5, Keith didn't contest the custody arrangement according to court filings. Fact number 6, Keith maintained an extensive touring schedule throughout the marriage, documented through tour announcements and concert dates. Fact number 7, both parties waived spousal support according to divorce documents. Fact number 8, the separation date listed in court filings is September 30th, 2025. These facts create a narrative that supports Candace's typical critique. Keith's public image, devoted husband, grateful for wife's loyalty, family man, contradicts the documented reality, 17 months from emotional praise to divorce, minimal anniversary engagement, acceptance of 17% custody, 200 plus days per year away from family. The timeline suggests possible deception, giving emotional speeches while the marriage was allegedly already in trouble, or while Keith was allegedly already involved with someone else. The custody arrangement proves Keith was never the involved father. His public image suggested devoted dads fight for 50-50 custody, not accept 17% without contest. The efficiency of the divorce, no prolonged custody battle, no fight over terms, suggests one party had leverage the other couldn't challenge, consistent with Nicole allegedly having evidence of Keith's infidelity. This wasn't a marriage that slowly drifted apart. The documented timeline suggests sudden collapse after years of maintained public image. So did Candace Owens actually lose it over Keith Urban's alleged betrayal? The honest answer, we cannot find definitive verified statements from Candace specifically addressing Keith Urban's divorce in major mainstream outlets or on her verified social media accounts. However, Candace Owens is a documented conservative commentator with a history of calling out celebrity hypocrisy. Her show, The Candace Owens Show, and her social media platforms regularly feature commentary on celebrities who she believes betray traditional values. Several scenarios could explain the Candace loses it narrative. Scenario 1, Candace made general comments about celebrity divorce hypocrisy, and observers applied her commentary to Keith Urban's specific case because it fits her typical critique perfectly. Scenario 2, Candace discussed Keith's divorce on her show or in social media posts that weren't picked up by mainstream outlets but circulated among her followers. Scenario 3, sources close to Candace shared her private thoughts about Keith's case, leading to reports about her reaction. Scenario 4, the theory of what Candace would say about Keith is based on her documented positions on similar cases, creating a predictive narrative rather than reporting actual statements. What we can verify, Candace has a documented history of celebrity criticism focused on hypocrisy between public image and private behavior. Keith's documented divorce facts align perfectly with the type of case Candace typically addresses. Conservative and traditional values audiences who overlap with both Candace's followers and country music fans would feel betrayed by the disconnect between Keith's public image and the documented reality revealed in divorce filings. Whether Candace specifically commented or not, the critique stands on documented evidence. Keith's AFI speech praising Nicole 17 months before divorce, his minimal anniversary engagement, emoji versus Nicole's romantic post, his acceptance of 59 days annual custody without fighting for more, the timeline suggesting sudden collapse rather than gradual drift. These facts support exactly the type of analysis Candace built her platform providing, exposing when celebrities use traditional values as branding while allegedly not living those values in reality. Whether Candace Owens specifically lost it over Keith Urban or not, the documented facts of his divorce reveal exactly the type of alleged betrayal she built her career exposing. The evidence we can verify, Keith gave an emotional speech in April 2024, crediting Nicole with saving him, praising her loyalty through his rehab, performing gratitude for millions of viewers. 17 months later, they divorced. Nicole posted a romantic anniversary message in June 2025, celebrating 19 years together. Keith responded with a heart emoji. Not his own post, not his own words, minimal engagement that suggested he was already emotionally checked out. Court documents show Keith accepted custody of his daughters only 59 days per year, 17%, without fighting for more time. This formalizes what the marriage reality apparently was. Keith functioning as part-time parent while maintaining public image as devoted father. Keith toured 200-plus days per year throughout the marriage, leaving Nicole to raise Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret largely alone while he was on the road, allegedly maintaining a relationship with a mistress. The alleged betrayal has multiple layers. Betrayal of Nicole through alleged infidelity while publicly praising her loyalty. Betrayal of truth through maintaining public image that contradicted private reality. Betrayal of fans who believed Keith's traditional values image and supported his career based on that belief. Betrayal of fatherhood by accepting minimal custody that proves he was never the involved dad he claimed to be. Do you think Candace was right to allegedly call out this hypocrisy? Does Keith's documented behavior, the timeline, the custody split, the minimal anniversary engagement, the touring lifestyle, contradict his public image as devoted husband and father? Should celebrities be held accountable when their private lives betray the values they publicly claim to represent? Or does Keith's case just expose what Candace has been saying all along, that Hollywood's traditional marriage image is almost always performance designed to profit from conservative audiences, while privately mocking the values those audiences hold sacred? Drop your thoughts below.